Yo, Crypto Nation and mining family, what's going on? What up, what up, what up? All you happy hashers out there. Yo, I see we got Sadie coming in hot and heavy. What's going on? It doesn't look like, oh, there we go. Looks like we got video going. Cool, cool. Just kind of double checking out. It's been so long, I haven't streamed over here. It's like, is everything set up properly? But definitely, as you guys are sliding on in, smash that Lizzie like button. And out of all the hash rate I can grow, the one thing I can't grow without your help is this channel. Yo, so think about subscribing. What's going on, Sadie? What's going on, Jason the Tiger Osborne? I see we got Nick in the house. Yo, we got John Germain with the Lemon Tree Gang in the house. What's up? What's up? What is happening, everybody? I know it's been a hot minute since I have streamed last. Give you a quick recap of everything that's been going on. So, been working a lot out in the garage, and then Mrs. Nemesis came home with COVID, and so I got sick. She got sick. Kind of like on and off, been feeling like crud, but here I am. So, what's up? Donation, right? He's like, Jason's like, having fun mining this new Bells coin. I know. Is it like really worth it though? I haven't done any testing on it. I've been hearing about it, and I've been thinking about firing up a mini Doge and seeing the numbers and seeing if it's actually flipping worth mining on my mini Doge. I mean, if it's worth mining on the mini Doge, I mean, let's do this, right? Heck yeah, Sadie, thank you. All the best of my health. Yep. I'm just getting on the backside of everything, trying to get back into the swing of things. And, yeah. So let's go ahead and dive down in as we got all you awesome people already here waiting. Looks like YouTube definitely pushed out the notification, which is awesome. I got hair like trying to whip into my eyeball, and it's like really annoying. There we go. So let's get into today's topic. Let's get in. Go ahead. We haven't done this in a hot minute, right? I mean, looking at the charts and everything, we got almost a $65,000 Bitcoin. What? You know, I swear, Bitcoin will dip down whenever I need to sit there and spend some crypto. It's like, oh, you want to spend your crypto on something? Well, we'll make it hurt. Yeah. This happened. I mean, you could thank the dip for me, because as soon as I bought something, price shot back up. So you guys are welcome. So, Bitcoin over $64,000. Ethereum doing Ethereum things. It's sitting just under $3,000. A far cry from its all-time high. It's never been its all-time high. And I would not expect it to ever hit its all-time high ever again. There is just really no grassroots movement on there anymore. You know, nothing Ethereum doing directly. It's just things getting built upon it now. So now Ethereum is on the backdrop, an engine per se behind the car manufacturer. So you know, they're not. I don't see them really rocketing off to an all-time high. They'll probably, realistically, maintain right where they're at. Unless something catastrophic happens on the Ethereum network, and then you know we'll see different things happening over there, and we'll see panic in the poop coin market, because there's a lot of garbage that's built on Ethereum, and if Ethereum falters, you'll see a mass panic, because people will just, because of the fact that Ethereum has an issue, all the other projects built on Ethereum are also going to have a similar issue. So, time will tell. This, you know, hopefully the Ethereum coding is mature enough to not have problems at this point. One would think so. Otherwise, we'll find out in the future. Binance still kind of up there. Binance is still very much relevant. So they're with their in-house token that they pump internally. You're gonna see this too. Solana's been kind of all over the news lately with all of their stuff. They've actually been doing pretty decently. XRP, I'm actually surprised that it's sitting above 60 cents. That one's a kind of like, really? People are still utilizing this. I don't think people are utilizing it. I think you're having more institutional-minded people and cheap people that don't have a whole lot, and they're thinking that XRP is going to be the next thing that the government's going to use. It's not. There's just going to be a whole lot of bag holders here. People have made money with XRP. Yes. Do I see people being able to make that kind of spread a second time around? No. Doge sitting at 11 cents. That puts every Doge that I have thousands and thousands of percent up from where I mined it. That's awesome. Cardano's still trying to stay relevant at about 40 cents. I mean, we still see some stuff that's been around for a hot minute. B-Trash trying to hold on to the top 20 here. And I know people that mine B-Trash. Unfortunately, from time to time, mining wise, B-Trash could be profitable from time to time, and of course, that puts a selling pressure on that B-Trash because people are going to sell that to get into Bitcoin. So, how is Vertcoin doing, huh? I mean, outside of me knowing a few of the guys, they're not really building too much on Vertcoin. It's just like one of those coins that is just maintaining. Is the project dead? No. Is the project stale? Yes. And what do I mean by stale? It's just merely existing. It's not diminishing. Still got coders. They still have a community behind it. They're still doing upgrades on Vertcoin, but are they, are other protocols coming in building on them? No. Are they becoming a money transmission facilitator? No. It's just kind of like a little niche group of people utilizing Vert. The guys all the devs for Vert, a good group of people and everything. It's just that the project itself, has stalled out. So unfortunately, I really don't see them really pushing any further forward than where they're at. And I wish them the best of luck and all that good stuff. But it's just another one of those projects that have fallen from where they could have been. So unfortunately, it's like it's the only coin you can mine with two gig GPUs. This is true. So I mean, they're willing to keep the older hardware alive on their network because it's a project that doesn't have a huge budget. It's a low budget project. So with the low budget projects and the low return ratio on helping secure the network means that they've got to be able to take in hardware that is not as efficient or not as powerful, right? And these less powerful equipment, awesome. I like to see that you're able to utilize it. At that point, just go back to CPU. Allow CPUs to be able to secure the network, and I think you'll be able to go a little bit further. You'll have a bigger grassroots movement with the CPUs on there. That's just my opinion. I think that there's no necessity for Vert to have GPUs at this point, but that's just my thoughts. It depends on which way I'm facing sometimes too. So I turn away from my, but I will see here. Check, check, check. I mean, everything sounds good. Looks good from my audio side. Let me reboot NVIDIA Broadcast. I mean, it booted up really good. Got noise removal on. Yeah, I have no ideas. All I could say is maybe refresh YouTube. Maybe something on YouTube side connecting to you is like kind of goofy. But yeah. So I mean, we're seeing a lot of a lot of these older projects that have been wanting to keep the GPU movement alive, and because the projects have stalled out as badly as a lot have, I don't think that they need all that GPU security on it anymore. I think that they could even lessen the security and go into the CPUs and actually get a fair bit better hash rate on there. But these are just opinions. I mean, again, it's got to make sense to whoever has hardware. I just think that they should allow, make provisions for CPUs to really be on there and be competitive. Design the miner to optimize for the CPUs also. This way you can use lower power hardware, secure the network, and be more efficient. It's just opinions. I mean, it's like I without knowing how the code works on their end, it's hard to sit there and say if it would it be beneficial for them to really code that in. It might not be at the point. That they would take too much of a loss in hash rate if everybody just ditched CPU. I mean, ditched GPU to CPU. I don't think anybody would. If they made both the option, I think they would gain hash rate. I mean, I haven't played on Vert since they came out with their own Vert miner. Whenever they came out with the first variation of their in-house Vertcoin miner, that was like right around the last that I had really played with them directly with my own hardware. I mean, full transparency, my stuff's off anyway, so it's not like my GPUs aren't even rolling. It ain't worth it for me to be mining with any of my hardware right now. Maybe Dogecoin, my mini Doges, maybe right now might be worth running, but CPUs are barely worth running right now because of my power rate and the state of most of these cryptos. Now I could sit there and run my CPUs and it wouldn't bother me right now, but at the same time, it's like I'm trying to get my business up and running, so I'm trying to make sure that my money is in the right spot at all time. If I can not have to deploy it all on electricity and I can use that in my business, wrenching on cars, now I see a little bit of a better opportunity in the future for mining, because once this is all making money out there and making a consistent income, I can turn back on the equipment. That's my thoughts on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, Vertcoin will make GPU mining great again. Let me tell you why. I got RX 470s for free, so your ROI, you already ROI'd. That's awesome. Your only cost is power. Computer runs on 12 volts, correct? It's 12 volts internally, but your amp draw, it's what the system's pulling off the wall, though. It doesn't matter what each individual component inside of your computer's running, because it's 12 volts at however many amps, right? It's like, let's say your power supply, that's 10 amps. Say you're running 80%. Let's say you're 7.5 amps out of 10 amps, right? It doesn't matter how you're overclocking. 7.5 amps is still 7.5 amps worth of power draw. So you're still going to get hit with this electric rate that, in accordance to your hash rate. Now, if you've got a good power rate, which basically you're 10 cents per kilowatt hour and lower. Ideally, you want to be right around that 7.5 cent per kilowatt hour, all in. That's taxes, all the fees, all that horrible stuff on there. All in, your effective electric rate would have to be somewhere around 7.5 cents per kilowatt hour to really make sense. So, taking what the average person, in the United States, you're going to be anywhere, depending on your area, between 12 cents to about 15.5 cents per kilowatt hour is now the national average. Closer to being 15 cents per kilowatt hour is more closer to the national average. At 15 cents per kilowatt hour, there's no profitability left in the GPU market as it stands right now. Now, you could be mining for a few different reasons, which would be, hey, look, I'm going to mine for just collecting coin. I want X coin and it's mineable. I'm not going to buy it, so I'm going to mine it, support the network. I like the network. Like you, Rude, with like Bitcoin, right? I'm not going to buy it, but I can participate in the network, mine it, help bring security, and be part of the ecosystem. Awesome. I'm not going to knock anybody who that's their targeted plan. But at the same time, you got to have that realistic expectation that you might be sitting there doing all of this to help support a network where it will never be good again. It will never equate to quote unquote profitability. Because, it's like you got to be able to, the coin's got to be worth more than the electricity it took to mine it. So if that never happens and you're okay with this, again, I'm not going to knock anybody who's wanting to support a network they enjoy the community on. That's how grassroots movements go. Win or lose, you're supporting a network. So I don't mind that. One solar panel, one 12-volt battery, and one mining rig. So you'll need a power inverter to turn 12 volts into 120 volt output. So yes, that's why I said internally on the computer side, it's 12 volts. But what's coming up to it is either going to be 120 or 240 volt going to the power supply. So you need to make sure that you're supplying the enough voltage consistently. Now, if you've got a solar panel, sure, you're going to start dropping your costs of electricity, but you're going to be raising your cost of equipment. So as you add in and become your own power company, that power company status, that's basically what you're doing when you're adding solar panels. You're becoming your own power company. Those power panels, in order to power up a 1,000-watt rig, is not cheap. Like, think outside of the box. Oh, I have. I mean, I've watched people hook, who've put together solar panels and taken the power converters and hooked them directly to the mining rigs themselves, right off the tap. But it has to come off of an inverter of some sort. So you're still, it's like, but you're like you're bringing your cost up on equipment. Now, does that equipment go bad immediately? No. I would say, depending on how hard you're hitting your power panels, Depends on how long your equipment's going to last you. So the equipment that you're going to be looking at here is going to be the closer you get to utilizing more than 50% of power generation per panel, you start creating more heat on the panel itself. That's what's going to start killing off your panels is too high of a power supply demand. So you're just going to have to play into that a high demand on a power panel is going to wipe them out in about 5, maybe 10 years, give or take. I mean, it depends on how good of a panel you grabbed. Depends on how long it's going to survive full-blown mining. And I've got enough. I've got enough equipment here to need over 10,000 watts worth of power panels. I don't have enough property. So for a small little operation, like you got one rig or something like that, 1,000-watt setup is not horrid. You know, you could sit there and put 1,000 watts worth of GPUs very easily into an area. But then you're going to be like, hey, I want to put if I'm going to be running power panels and stuff, I'm going to want the most efficient and the best bang for my dollar to be going on the panels. Otherwise, it's a big waste. You want the most efficient hardware to run on off grid. Now I've seen people, like I said, I've seen people hook up hash boards. I've seen people do a lot of cool stuff running solar and wind generators. So you're not going to see too much of me sitting there saying it can't be done. It's just, to what extent is it worth it? To run the amount of equipment. Now, if you've already got some of the equipment and you're just I'm gonna expand on it so I can mine a little bit more with it. Perfect. If you're wanting to experiment around with it, perfect. I love sitting there checking out stuff like that. Oh yeah, absolutely, Rude. Absolutely, it can be done. Oh my God, absolutely. For me personally, not for you. I'm not talking for any one of you guys out there. I'm just saying for me personally, to run all of my equipment, all of my gear, a 1/4 acres worth of property, you cannot put enough solar panels on. Solar panels are not the most efficient equipment out there. And the way that I would be running everything, I would try to run it to where I was generating at least 40% more power than what I was utilizing. And yeah, I'd be looking at almost 20,000 watts worth of solar panels. I don't have that kind of property at all. I wish I could do something like that where I'm at. It's like I need nuclear power. Actually, I've been looking into bioreactors. So basically, you could take stuff that's burning and use the gases off of that, or take things that are releasing methane gases off of it and capturing the gases and utilizing that to run a generator. That's something that I've also looked into so that I can efficiently go off grid. Have people just drop off their manure right to my residence, and I will sit there and just let it rot away and mine some free Visity Bitcoin. I'm just saying. So I think that right now is the time to really be getting into GPU mining. No. I don't even recommend people I tell people, if you're really gung-ho about getting into mining, by all means, let me show you how to do it. But if somebody were to ask me, would I be starting over back in mining right now? And I'd probably be like, no. I'd probably take the my money and just buy Bitcoin and hodl it at this moment. Now, will that stuff change in the future? Potentially. Will GPU mining come back? Maybe. You know, do I think that GPU mining is permanently dead forever and ever and ever? Sell your GPUs, sell your. No. I'm just kind of looking at it right now and into the foreseeable future. There's really nothing out there that is providing value that would bring into the GPU space. No one is bringing value into the GPU mining space. A lot of these coins, their roadmaps are directly to ASICs. They do not want to stay CPU or GPU mining right now. That trend of we're going to be GPU mining forever. Never give up your GPUs. We got your back. I haven't heard any coin sit there and do that. The only one that's been trying to stay true to this has been realistically just a handful of coins out there. Monero occasionally changes their stuff up to get FPGAs off of the network. God knows if FPGAs are back on the network at this point. But it's like you have a very few coins that they're on a specific hardware and they never move forward. Filecoin, Namecoin, some of these ones they never changed. They were hardware, they're proof-based coins. So hard drive specific like Chia and stuff. You're not going to find any real way to outsource to an ASIC a storage device. It's put a storage device on there and run it, and you're good to go. Right now, they can sit there and make a nice, nifty little package for it, but ASICs, no. I don't think that right now we're going to see anything that's GPU mining that's going to sit there and bring the grassroots movement back and bring value into the communities. Even sitting there and talking with Carter from Bitsby Trippin'. If you guys are new here and you don't know who Bitsby Trippin' is, check out his YouTube channel. An amazing dude, a wealth of knowledge. Me and him have gone back and forth with ideas and stuff like that for many years. I've known that guy for a long time. Good people, and even talking with him, he's just like yeah. Bitsby Trippin' still have 2,000 GPUs off, not doing anything. Now, does he think that GPU mining is dead? Like, nobody should ever do it? No, it's just for business side of things, it is absolutely dead. There's unless something big pops up, there is no reason any business should ever get involved with GPU mining moving forward. Again, unless something like Ethereum status popped off on the GPU mining side again. Nobody's going to be sitting there mining with GPUs at scale anymore. You're not going to see 10,000 GPU farms rolling anymore. But you're seeing a lot of these same facilities, they have offloaded all their GPUs, and they've either rolled back into being a data center, gotten out of the business, or they've transitioned into being ASICs. And realistically, FPGAs and ASICs are the future. And that's where kind of going right along with my hat here, guys. I mean, I just got involved with Osprey Electronics here, guys. Hence why I'm also wearing the hat. I have some equipment coming in from them. It's going to be a sponsored spot for the next couple of months. And it's like this is going to be your low level tier equipment at this point. Is going to be your FPGAs, and it's wild that I'm going to sit there and say this is your low level equipment that you want to be involved with. And when you think about it, you're looking at, you can get the VU33s if they're ever, if they're in stock when you happen to do this. They're, $1,200 for a single hash board. Super efficient, not the highest hash rate, but super power efficient. But they're not like your standard FPGAs that I have messed with and me and Mikkel have messed with, where we can program the FPGAs. Because they're with Osprey, you are limited by what they have set up with their hardware. So you're not mining just anything you want. You're also not having to worry about paying for licensing for each one of the softwares. So this is an all-in-one solution for you. Guys, I do have links down below. So if any of you awesome people, please check out my links down below for Osprey. I've got discount coupons down below, guys. So if you want some Osprey equipment, costs you guys nothing to click on that link. Well, actually it does, because it's a discount. Depending on which one you go with, depends on how much of a discount you get. Links are all in the description down below. So go definitely check that stuff out. Open up a new tab. Check out the pricings on it. I mean, you can get the VU35s, the E100s. I think it'll give you like $50 off on that. If you get the E300, I think it's like it's over $100 savings. Yo, $100 savings is $100 savings. If I can help you guys any bit, certainly check out the links down below, guys. I know, chilling it like I cannot, like it's nobody's business. I know, but I cannot wait to get my hands on my VU35s. I got the E300 coming in as a demo unit. Yo, what bit streams do they offer? Let's see here. I forget everything that they're able to mine right off the top of my head here. Okay. Let's see here. Algorithms. Let's go into it. So we got Radiant, Itka, whatever that is, Alphium, Gram, and Chapa. So anything that uses these algorithms can be mined on the VU35P. I believe that for the VU33 is the same algorithms. So yeah, Chapa, Gram, Alphium, Itka, and Radiant. So there'll be other bit streams that'll come up into the future. They will be adding more as time goes on, of course. But guys, definitely want to get your hands on this stuff. Take PayPal. Get on board, guys. I'm just saying. Get some of these. Get you some. Like Raven, not anymore. Since I don't think since Raven went to Kapow that anybody's been like trying to bother making a bit stream for Raven. Raven's turned into a zombie coin. It's not doing anything. There is no incentive for anyone to put together a bit stream for Raven. It's like the crypto market is all about free capital, right? If it's not being monetarily incentivized, people don't do it. It's a good thing and a bad thing at the same time. I'm just saying. So we'll definitely, I can't wait to get my hands on this is the excited face, guys. I'm just saying. So I'm going to be having the VU35 piece. So if you guys want to see more of that content up, certainly share my videos out with all of your homies out that are interested in the mining and all that good stuff. I know GPU mining might be dead, but the more powerful hardware you have, the more competitive for a longer period of time you are. So I don't plan on down mine at all. Well, maybe at some point, maybe. I don't know. But I've got to be willing to basically take the cooler off and repaste it as like every 8 months as a part of a maintenance program if you're going to be submerging these. So, I mean, I've got my thing. Thought about wanting to dunk them. Dunking them does get a lot of bit more power out of them. And I do have a C1 tank. And I'd have to get some dielectric fluid so that I can dunk it. But that would be way into the future. First couple of months, I'm going to be playing around with this thing, just kind of doing promoting this, for Osprey, kind of helping them out since they're willing to sponsor me with a demo unit. Awesome. I love being able to do collaborations with smaller companies doing good stuff, repurposing old equipment, make sure they don't die. And just know that a lot of these, there's not a whole lot of these chips left. The VU33s, there's not a whole lot of those left. The V35s, all of them, all these FPGA chipsets, there is not an unlimited supply. They haven't been making any new ones. So again, it's one of those things of it's not being incentivized to be making a lot of these hardware, considering that the mining market has been down so far, right? But if you guys are wanting to get into some more efficient hardware, this is a great way to do it. Again, links down below for getting some coupons. I'm just saying. I mean, I do get a little credit for it, but not a whole lot. But I'd love to see it. Love to see you guys get discounts if this is going to be equipment you're going to be running. So I'm going to be keeping those links down below. They're going to be a permanent part of this channel now because that's their thing for me and me to be able to hand off to you. And if they get something that changes on there, I'll start hitting them up for new coupon codes and stuff. So like Osprey seems to be a lot more responsive to the mining community than the big manufacturers. 100%. Now, I mean, I could say the same thing even with like AMD. AMD's been pretty nice to the mining community also. NVIDIA, no. Intel, they kind of were like, that's not our thing. Well, if you want to use our equipment like that, we have no problem with that. Do your thing. But we're not going to tailor it and make it work with you guys. Where AMD did have a mining division, and they did help out the software manufacturers design the software around their equipment so that it would not break the equipment just because you were mining on it. NVIDIA decided to go the whole other route. They made the whole mining division. They were helping out whenever it was making them money. And then as soon as it wasn't making them money the way that they wanted to, use that department to try to stop mining on their equipment. It's kind of funny, but, NVIDIA is now paying the price on some of that stuff as they go through legal battles with their investors. The RX 470 were mining specific GPUs. Not that I know of. RX 470, I mean, unless you got the mining and a mining edition, that'd be different. But the RX 470 is the same GPU as the RX 570. They literally are the same card. It was like the 5 series was the 4 series refresh. I mean, I've still got I have a 588 gigger, an ROG Strix from a facility that no longer exists. Yes, there's no outputs on the back. Oh, so you do have one of their mining specific one. That's cool. That's cool. But the 470 wasn't specifically a mining card. That's probably a 470 that the video output on the chip, the VGA core itself, probably failed. But the compute side of the chip still worked flawlessly. So they were able to just eliminate a few things, push a card out, or it was that they couldn't get rid of the card anymore. They just didn't solder on the connectors on there and just pumped them out without any kind of HDMI. Because for every HDMI connector they put onto a PCB, they've got to pay royalties for it. So if they're able to not have to put the connector on there and kick it to the mining community, that saves them a little bit more money, and they still charge at the same flipping price. It's awesome. Absolutely awesome. And then, guys, if you guys are looking at new CPUs, I do like the 9000 series, guys. Don't get me wrong. There needs to be some optimizations that need to be done on the Ryzen 9000 series. I probably, if I was going to be like, hey, look, I'm going to buy me a computer, building a new computer, I would not be getting the 9000 series right now, though. I think they could be dropping the price a little bit more. I mean, the 9950X has been dropped down like 4% pricing. The 9900X dropped down about 10% pricing so far. So I think these are going to still continue to come down the pricing stack as people are not wanting to buy something when especially the 9950X. There's almost no difference between the 50X and the non-50X. Almost no difference. And that yet they're still charging a premium. The only people that are caring about this stuff is people who are doing extreme overclocking on these chipsets. Are you going to see much of a difference mining on these chipsets? No. You're not going to see much of a difference. So what if one's got a little bit of a higher boosting clock on there? It's going to utilize more power in order to do that. So from the mining perspective, the 50X isn't that chip that desirable chip you want to go after. That is literally an enthusiast chips only. The non-50X would be where the value proposition comes in, but from what I understand, the 9800X is the chip that has the performance that everybody is looking for. So I would not get it at the top of the product stack this round. I probably would go after the 7000 series myself, non-X3D chips. I'm not really big on the X3D chipsets anyway. I mean, even though that they've allowed some overclocking, they've dialed it back and allowed some, opening it up. But I just don't see enough of a value proposition on the 9000 series, considering all the people that have gotten review samples have said that, for what you're getting, it's a little lackluster. Can it be solved in software? Is this another AMD? Well, at least it works situation like the GPUs and the RX lines back in the day? Possibly. They are pushing the limit on what, trying to be competitive with Intel, and they've done a very good job overall. I just don't know if they're kind of hitting that limitation where they've advanced the hardware up to a point where software now needs to kind of catch up, and it's been like playing a little lag behind. I would rather see personally them slow down, ripping out new hardware to make sure that the software is keeping up with new hardware to make sure that everything is optimized in the right way. Yo, Craig, what's up? What's up? What up, my dude? But yeah, I mean, I would like to get my hands on some of the 9000 chips just for testing purposes. Outside of that, if I was building a computer, I'd definitely go down to a little bit of a lower line on there that has all the performance you're looking for and is not horribly outdated. You know, 6,000 series, 7,000 series, perfect. You know, uh, even going down, even going as far as your 3,000 series. You know, your 3900X chips are amazing. You know, I've got the 3950X running without any problems. They do very well. Mining wise, cannot complain. They all do better than my Threadripper mining wise, which tells me that a lot of those chips more than likely are outperforming my Threadripper. So if I ever wanted to completely upgrade out of the Threadripper lineup, there are comparable chips that are definitely outperforming my Threadrippers. And it's okay. And but with the 9000 series, yeah, it might be outperforming my Threadripper right now, but they still have their own comparable problems internally. It's like I've seen a lot of trusted area people sitting there and going, it's not a bad product. It's just you're not getting the performance you would expect at those levels. They are getting old. That is true, Rude. That is true. I got the 1950X Threadripper. She be getting old. She be getting old. Eventually, I get the 2950WX, and I'll be set for a few years. And even then, it'll be old still. Gonna be wild. Maybe I might sit there and upgrade it to the 29WX whenever the chipset's actually of a reasonable price. We'll wait. We'll wait. So, all right. And then, guys, if you're looking for new GPUs, you're like, hey, I'm still mining. I'm building a new gaming rig for myself. Watch out for Ingredia doing some more sleazeball stuff, guys. This is the RTX 4070 with GDDR6 non-X memory, guys, being sold as the 470 from Gigabyte. They have a 2-fan and a 3-fan variant. Cool. I'm okay with this, right? We have a new chipset. So the new 4070 is on the AD104-251 chipset versus the old 4070 was on the AD104-250. CUDA cores are the same. You got the same amount of gigabytes of memory, but it's non-X memory, which means the memory is a little slower. You're still on a 192-bit bus, which is fine. Base clock is the same. Boost clock is the same. So the VGA core should respond comparable, right? Memory clock, 20 gigabytes per second versus the old one at 21 gigabytes per second. Bandwidth at 480 gigabytes per second versus 504 gigabytes per second of bandwidth. So you can now see that there is a difference in the bandwidth on the memory. We are now moving slower. And if we all know from mining that a lower tier memory module will give you different thresholds on overclocking and your boost clocks overall. Now, I've seen lower tier cards sit there with a much higher boost frequencies, but you're getting less performance out of them. So they're sitting there boosting them up and getting the memory and the VGA core of a lower tier to come into its optimum performance zone, right? Where you're going to definitely tell that, yeah, I can sit there and boost up the clock a little higher, on the non-X, but I'm not going to have any bit of extra performance on the table when I do overclock the hell out of it. So you're going to have less mining performance on this bad boy. Granted, I understand that there's not very many memory dependent algorithms out there, but again, memory does affect overall VGA core boost frequencies and power usage. So if you're trying to get the same performance as the original RTX 4070, you're going to notice that it's going to take more power to get there. I'm just saying. And they're going to be charging you the same amount of money, guys. That is going to be the funny part. Is that we are looking at a $549 MSRP, and you're going to be getting less hardware. Ingredia, gotta love it. More power, less performance, less quality, same money. You can call that inflation, or you can call that Ingredia. I'm gonna sit there and say that it could be a little of both, but mostly Ingredia, because NVIDIA has this track record of doing this. They are beholden to their stock shareholders. Video gamers are an afterthought, so they just look at it as gamers want an NVIDIA. They'll buy whatever garbage they put out for them to buy. There's always somebody that will buy it, no matter what. There's nobody that's gonna boycott NVIDIA over crap marketing practices like this. Look at GPU mining market, how heavy it was for the longest time. NVIDIA, knowing that this was the shady tactics that they've been playing. And look at every gamer out there that bought GPUs for $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 during the scamdemic. I know, right, Rude? It's like, I try, but it's difficult. You know, especially when you know, hey, look, this GPU is going to perform the best for me. AMD will do it. AMD will make a great GPU for you to game on and a great GPU for you to mine on. But if you want that little squeak of extra performance, you know you cannot do that on AMD. It's sad. It's sad but true. So, I mean, I'll have to make those difficult decisions to try to get, you know, the best hardware into our hands, the best pricing. But just know, guys, that if you're looking for a 4070 and you're actually in the market for a 4070, you're going to have to pay attention to which 4070 you're grabbing. Which memory modules do you have in there? We're back to having to look at memory modules to make sure that we know who's going to be sitting there with the best bang for their dollar. You know, I mean, back in the day, oh, you have Samsung, SK Hynix, Micron. You know, now it's going to be, is it an X module or a non-X module? Now, I still don't see much value overall in the 4070 market, or in the 40 series market anyway. Why don't I see much value? Because you can sit there and you can come over onto your mining calculators and a 4070 Ti. You know, if you're at 15 cents per kilowatt hour, you can be making a whole whopping, 4 cents. If you're happy, let's say 11 cents per kilowatt hour, right? Let's give you the benefit of the doubt of 11 cents per kilowatt hour. A 4090 can be making 17 cents a day. When these bad boys were coming out, they're pretty expensive, over $1,000 to make 17 cents. You might as well just keep it off. Don't put the wear and tear on your fans. The fans alone are going to be, the fans on the GPU alone are going to cost you more than 17 cents a day to run with it. So you're not in profit at 17 cents, guys. I don't care what anybody wants to sit there and tell you. There is no profits at 17 cents. This is 17 cents with the power draw off of the card. No cooling. So you put a couple of computer case fans around it to get a little air movement around the card, and you know you're maybe if you're lucky 2 cents per kilo, 2 cents a day profit if you're lucky. Vertcoin uses less power than they say. You can definitely tune it for that, Rude. But again, depending on your power usage, that's still not going to be enough. And the price of Vertcoin is not high enough to warrant, you know, somebody to put a lot of hash rate down on it. As much as I, you know, Vert, like I said, guys over at Vert, I got no problem with it. They just, there's no value proposition in it for people with a lot of hash rate to deploy. It's not sustainable. None of this stuff is sustainable. You know, a 4070 Super at 6 cents worth of profit a day, that's not sustainable. A 6800, I've got one of these, 5 cents. Sure, I can run this at 5 cents and have the fans off and no other fans, as long as that's the only card I'm mining in. And that's the only thing emitting heat into the room. Yeah, I can make 5 cents a day electricity on it. Cool. That's one of the few cards that I'm going to be able to do that with. Fiero on A2000s, them fans are going to be at full tilt. That poor little fan, that little blower fan on the A2000s. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, the total card power draw on this is going to be up to 80 watts, you know, as long as you're not modding, right? And that's going to be, you're probably realistically looking at about 3 to 4 cents profit a day on that. Let's see here. A regular 4070, the X variation on the memory module, and you're making 4 cents a day. You know, there's not a whole lot that's making a big amount of money to warrant, you know, picking up brand new hardware like this for $500 to $600. This GPU, in my opinion, is a $200 GPU. And I'd have no problem walking right up to Gigabyte and saying, how much do you want for this $200 GPU? And if they tell me that number, I walk away. You know, $549 before taxes on it, that's not worth it on a card that doesn't have all the performance that its original counterpart had with the same name. So, yeah, I mean, I just don't see any reason to grabbing some of this hardware like this anymore. Well, not anymore, but at least at this point in time. Now, again, you guys are wanting to build up a little mining cave going on, and you're trying to build out in your house. Certainly, you know, if you could find them on good deals, but I would be going after the original DDR6X memory module variation and not this one. What are you giving up with getting used? One, it's probably been mined on from hell and back again. And two, warranty. It is spending an extra $300 worth the warranty. I've got GPUs that I have mined on for well over 5 years. Never had a problem with them other than a fan dying out here and there, rethermal pasting them, putting new pads on it. Outside of that, never had an issue. I don't abuse my stuff by running them at high temperatures. So it's like, yeah, exactly, Rude. Easy 5 years. I mean, look at my 1070s and 1070 Ti's. They might be off right now, but until this year, they had been running strong. They were running. So I have no problem sitting here and say, the equipment will be very much viable for years to come. Now, is it worth grabbing it for only mining? Probably not. Probably not. Not at this juncture. Not until there's something out there that's being built on that's like viable for the GPU community. Outside of that, yeah, I would definitely be looking, more into stuff like this, guys. I mean, ASICs, but not everybody can run these ASICs at their house. I mean, they're ungodly expensive. I mean, what's the AL1, the first batch, come out at for Alphemium? Let's see here. You're almost 30 grand. You're about $30,000 to get one of these, and that's the old one. The new one that'll be coming out here soon, over 30 grand. You're going to be easy $32,000. Easy. And that's if you can get your hands on them. So what? You're going to be looking at grabbing other things, right? I'm going to grab my a KS5. That's 3,000 watts. So now you got to have a 30 amp 240 circuit dedicated for this. How many 30 amp 240 circuits does the average consumer have in their house? If they're lucky, one. That's going to be for your dryer. So you're going to be able to run one miner. And what's this bad boy going to cost you? 10 grand. You have 10 grand and over a year to get paid back? Probably not. Most people don't have 10 G's just sitting around to dump in on one single basic miner, and it'd be the only one you can run in your house. Unless you're willing to sit there and wire it up like I got in my mining room, where I got a couple 30 amp circuits in my mining room. But how many can you put on there? Your average home, your total amperage coming in the house is between 100 and 200 amps. So what? You could put 3 to 6 30 amp circuits, so you can run from anywhere from 3 to 6 ASICs in your house, and you'll have to turn one of the ASICs off in order to turn a light bulb on. I've done that here at the house. I got a 100 amp circuit. I had miners scattered through the entire house. You could not put the microwave on without popping the main house breaker. So I mean, you like, people need to realize with the ASICs, you're coming into very much of a power hungry situation. Now, if we could sit there and let's say you're going and I'm gonna send it up to somebody and have them host it for me. I think the best hosting that I've heard so far is like 12 cents per kilowatt hour. If you're co-op and you're like in partnership with somebody, you might be able to get 8 cents a kilowatt hour. Maybe. And that's going to be in very select locations. Here in Illinois, there is nothing at that rate. In Illinois, I'd be looking closer to about 10 cents per kilowatt hour here, not 8. Illinois is not nice to businesses. Illinois government would rather pillage than promote good business practices. It is what it is, right? But I mean, we're looking at being able to grab maybe some gold shells. Well, gold shells, they're not going to be very profitable for very long. They are smaller hardware, and if you want to get the AL box too, you'll be making $15 a day, right? It's going to cost you 2 G's to get this. And once the next batch of alphaemium miners come out, your profitability gets cut in half, and so on and so forth. You'll be making about $9 a day, $8-9 a day, and then eventually it will be even less, because the more ASIC miners that go onto any network, the more sell pressure they have you put down on the network. And if there's not enough value in the network itself, and I don't mean overall market cap price, I'm talking value of people transacting through the network, somebody utilizing alphaemium, somebody using them to build something on, to use their stuff to make their product better, or you're just getting huge swaths of money pouring into alphaemium, then you might see price number go up and profitability will go up. But there's nothing really being built there. There's nothing there. This is vaporware. And they've got an ASIC miner on there because right now, as it stands, it's profitable. But once the ASICs are there to extract value out of the network, ASICs are there to kill the network. It's not Bitcoin. Bitcoin had one thing going for it. It was a way to transmit money. That's what it needed. And it needed to be secure. Alpha is not doing that. Decred's not doing that. There's no value here. Helium's, I'm not really big on the whole Internet of Things. To me, helium is a way to set up a surveillance state. That's my thoughts on it. Is that if you wanted to have a surveillance state, a better way to get everybody to just put the equipment in their home, in their car, on them, so that they can see all their movements of where they're at all times. And guess what? Your devices are connecting into it, so now they get to see what all your data traffic is coming from, how you're transacting. They get everything. I'm not big on the Internet of Things. The IoT stuff, I never put any. This computer and this phone are my two high-tech devices. I'm not putting in more spyware into my life. Exactly, Nick. Skynets. We do not need to be putting all these smart devices in. If I was sitting there trying to influence people in the masses, right? What better way to influence them than put a device into their house that will just periodically give you a little nudge? Hey, look, we're going to advertise this to you. And you'll be like, oh, that's odd. That's weird. Wow. And then later on, next thing you know, whatever that was advertised, you own it. Because they start nudging you. That's what that tailored advertisements do to you. Is that, oh, you like this? Well, then you're going to like this, 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 and this. Oh, you start looking for, like the, what was it? Google sitting there giving advertisements to prenatal care to a underage girl. And when the father found out, he got pissed off just to find out that she was pregnant. And the algorithm picked up that she was searching things that pregnant people search. So the algorithm assumed that she was pregnant, and it was correct. There's your Internet of Things. It's going to start being able to see the pattern in your life and associate it and be pretty damn fucking accurate. Why are random Google things for fun? Oh my god. That'll get you in trouble too. Like, how do you know it's random that you're Googling that stuff and that it hasn't been steering Google hasn't been promoting you to start looking. Ooh, I know. Big brain moment right there. What if Google has been prompting you to make those random Googles so that you start looking for things it wants you to find? I know, right, Jason, dude? Google is Skynet in disguise. Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, that's why you popped up today. Live stream. Yep. Leisure Suit Larry. You guys with that? Oh, no way. That is not an appropriate game to be playing. Publicly. So does anybody got any other comments or questions before I head up out of here? Been here for over 1 hour with all of you guys. I'll probably pop on tomorrow, guys. Do a little game. What? I know. I have been kind of jonesing for some gaming, and I haven't been gaming. You haven't seen me game at all. I haven't been gaming. And not one bit. So I need to start gaming again. No Larry. Scripto and Hot Rods. So yeah, we play things I like. I'm not really big on games like that, my man. Dang it. And YouTube's not very cool about me playing those style of games. YouTube's not friendly to people playing those type of games either. RoboCop. No. Even back in the day, I wasn't really a big fan of that. I mean, I grew up in the Super Nintendo, the Nintendo 64 GoldenEye editions. That's my gen. So, nope. I'm thinking I want to get onto some gaming, and I want to get on some racing. I think I need to get some racing again. Get some hot rods out there. So, thank you everybody for being here and all that good stuff. Expect to see something from me tomorrow, guys. I know it's been a hot minute. Remember when the Daytona game came out in the 90s? Oh my god. Oh, I played so much of that. It's the same thing with like late 90s with Gran Turismo. Epic racing. Absolutely epic racing. So, thank you everybody for being here. Don't forget to smash that Lizzie like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification, all that good stuff. We'll definitely have a little bit more of a kickback casual Sunday going on. And now that I'm not sick and stuff like that, and I'm like a little backed up with things that I should be doing videos with, so expect to see some more videos, expect to see some testing, guys. So I have a rig set up, not out here yet. And we're going to do some testing on a rig here. Do some Wi-Fi testing compared to non-Wi-Fi testing. Does it make a measurable difference in hash rate? We'll find out. We'll sit there and see what some of these GPUs are. They worth still running today? What is the actual hash rate on these algorithms? So you never know. I might need to borrow one of your guys' wallet addresses one of these days, and I might mind your wallet address for 24 hours. You might want to stay tuned to stuff that I'm in. Things are going to get a little spicy around here. I want to do some testing, and I think you guys want to be in part of that, right? And I might just mind your guys' wallets while I'm testing. For testing purposes. Thank you, Sadie. Thank you. So, we're going to do some building here, guys, coming up. All that good stuff. So, stay tuned. Stick around. And it's like hashtag giveaway, gang. I know. And, guys, talking about giveaways, I still have a GPU to give away. I mean, you guys didn't get me to 2,000 subscribers by the end of last month. So you guys didn't want me to give away 2 GPUs. But you only wanted me to give away 1. So maybe I might have to, figure out a way to make it where I can give away 2 GPUs again. I mean, do you guys want me to give away a couple of GPUs? I mean, I have to get to 2,000 subscribers first. First and foremost. I mean, you guys think you can get me there? You guys think you can get me there? And you can give me a time frame on when you think you can get me to 2,000 subscribers? I might hold you to it. And if you guys that number in that time frame or sooner, I might give 2. We'll see. Give out some 1070s. Heck yeah. You guys want some 1070s? Give me the 2,000 subscribers. Yo. And with that being said, thank you everybody for being here. Definitely drop some FAs in the Chisley chat, because you guys are rated F for freaking awesome. Yo. With that being said, peace out. Stay savage. And may your watts be low and your hash be high. I'll see you on the next one.